Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the District 32 vlog. Today, I'm going to be focusing on making a pause menu using Game Creator 2. At the moment right now, you'll see that I'm working on building a panel system, setting up all my UI elements, getting everything named here, and starting to work. So what I like to do is I like to start by usually doing this on paper. Right now, this is just pretty much me remembering how I had done it before, because after the update, a couple things have changed in the logic that Game Creator 2 is using. So I have to actually redesign this from scratch again. So right now I've set up my trigger, and with that I'll be setting up some conditions. So what I'm going to have happen here is when I actually press a button on my controller, which would be the start button, whether it's on an Xbox or PlayStation controller, it's going to run these conditions, and these conditions are going to pretty much dictate what comes on screen and what comes off screen, and deals with the time scaling of the game. So at a 0 time scale, your game is paused and nothing should happen. There seems to be a glitch in 2022 with Game Creator where you have to go in and edit the control for some reason, or auto save it, in order for the options to pop up in the menu. I don't know of a workaround for it, but all I can do is work with what I got. So as you see, I'm setting these conditions right now, and then I'm going to start building that logic within a few moments here. So this will be using the branch condition as always, which is if this happens, then do that. Also setting up some local variables here to be able to control the logic so that we don't get stuck in an infinite loop. So this one will be is paused, and this will be set as a Boolean for true or false.
Was good though. I'm about to go pull up, for real. If y'all wanna pull up on me, pull up on me, pull up on me, pull up, pull up on me.
Right. Yeah. Listen, I will pull up.
As you can see, I did use a compare Boolean for this example. And like I said, there's that glitch that pops up where it's kind of like, but that is also well, actually that was my mistake, because I was supposed to actually set the local name variable and set the value as a Boolean, which I didn't. So that wasn't a glitch, that was actually human error. Hey, we all make mistakes. So right now I'm going to set the time scale to 0, which will pause all game actions. Everything on the screen will be paused. Then I'm actually going to pause or disable the character controller. So when the game is paused, you shouldn't be able to control your character. Sometimes you'll notice if you're trying to do a pause menu and you don't do that, with Game Creator 2, you can actually control the character, especially if you're doing like a test level and maybe run off the edge by accident and have some weird things happening that you really didn't want to happen. So the order does matter at times. What I like to do is sometimes have my variables hit first and then run the other logic, even though it happens within a split second. I think it just makes the difference in, having the code clean. I think of it as if I was trying to program written code. So the cleaner it is, the more easier it is to read, the better it is. I do believe that Game Creator 2 is one of the hidden gems in Unity as far as for visual scripting and getting ideas out. Do I think it's the end all be all? Absolutely. I think it's going to change the way that games are made for the better in the future for solo devs, small team devs, even larger devs, I believe can benefit actually from this asset. So there you see again is I'm trying to work around whatever's happening. So even, just making sure that I hit the button on the controller and it's the right button again, just to get it to populate. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding the logic for it. Once you press the button, but if you press the button again, what's gonna happen? Because if you press the button once, the game is paused. Okay, but so how do you unpause? So what we're doing is the code in a reverse order now. So once we pause it, then we have to say, if we hit the button again, we have to set it to the game is not being paused and disable a lot of things that are happening. And you'll see that I'll end up making some more panels in a few moments here. I will be expanding on this in the future with custom backgrounds depending on the character that you're controlling and playing with. And you'll see that in episode 3. So right now, I'm making a Text Mesh Pro text and just fiddling around, just trying to figure out how big I want this font to be. Nothing special here, but it's just one of those things that, you want to put in and let somebody know that the game is paused instead of just pausing it and then there's just nothing there. But I will flesh this out in the future and make it a little bit more appealing to the eye. So I just made it big for no reason, but hey, what the heck? Just testing out things. Just all prototyping for right now. The best way to do it is to knock the small things out the park, get them how you want them, and then move on to the bigger things. All right. Moving along pretty good. Good timing. Now what we want to do is we want to set those elements that we made active and inactive. And we're going to do that with a set multiple block of code. And I love this because there's so many different things that you can do with this. Just imagine being able to set different triggers and different events active, and changing things once we elaborate some more on the mission objective system as we dive in deeper. It's looking good. Getting there. So I'm just double checking everything right now just to see, is the logic making sense? Is it flowing the way that I have it? And now we're going to get ready to do a test in a few moments here. Everything looks good, so let's go. All right. So from the last tutorial that you had seen / devlog, what I did was I had a few things going on. So right now I can still open up another menu, but you see the glitch. So for some reason you're thinking, hey man, it's supposed to be paused, but it's not working. But the workaround is that right now I just disabled the character. What I have to do is go back in and add logic to disable the camera, because without disabling the camera, you can see this, it still has free reign to move around. Also, another thing that I would have to fix is being able to open up other menus while the game is paused. So if the game is paused, I'm going to have to go back to that menu that I made in the first episode and actually have that disabled if the game is paused, and have it re-enable itself if the game is not paused. So that'll be on episode 3, along with building a UI panel for the characters. And you'll get to actually watch me as I go and develop that, which will be pretty cool. So right now, as I'm skimming through the code, I'm just thinking like, what is it that I gotta do? So we have player enabled, and what can I do right here in this moment to fix that issue? Right now I'm looking for some camera logic. You see it go through, skimming through code. And eventually, what it all comes down to is figuring out how many different options we have here. Now that I see that there's an option for the main camera to disable it, what I'm going to do is actually duplicate the code that I have and then fix the issue. So sometimes going in to this code, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. So now I've duplicated it, and now we're going to add the main camera and stop that from moving as well. And then going back, we're going to have to enable that camera again when the pause menu has stopped. And now for another test out. So now you see, nothing is moving at all.
baller, you're an analyst. If the coppers call, I am not involved. I'm a fire off until the hammer click. I handle my own damn scandals.
And also, the game time, I do believe that I put that. Did I put that in? No, that was something else I was working on. So, there was a UI builder that I was working on earlier, and I had to set it to unscale time. So now I'm just testing it with the alpha channel down so I can see if I can move the camera. And as you see, everything is frozen in time. And we're running smooth at 60 FPS. I want to shout out to all the artists who submitted music, and their music is in the video. So thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. I'd like y'all to subscribe, stay in touch, follow the progress, and let's make something classic. Until next time.